a very interesting career ritual that I did. So what happened was, at that point in time, I was doing full-time sales. And so because of the nature of the business, we had to travel a lot to different countries. And I always realized one thing, which was every time I went overseas, I just somehow felt very tired. I can get like 8 hours of sleep, but despite having more sleep, I was just somehow still exhausted. So when it happened the first few times, I didn't think much about it. But after, 5 times, that's where I felt that something wasn't right. So then sometime in May, Teacher Lu Xia was in Singapore then. So I decided to ask her this. And then she said that, oh, it's because, yes, although you did an energy boosting ritual with me last year, 2018, the first time I knew her, but that energy field was more suited for you in the Singapore market. Right? So it's kind of like your energy field when you're in Singapore is high. But when you're overseas, then you go back to kind of like your original energy field. So it's kind of like lower, which is why you feel this lethargy. So I asked Teacher Lu Xia, is there a solution? Because at that point in time, our company was expanding overseas, right? So I was traveling a lot. And so Teacher Lu Xia said that it's possible. We can perhaps do a ritual to help to synchronize your energy field with these different countries that you want to expand to. So without second thought, I decided to go ahead and do the ritual. During the ritual ceremony itself, there was a step where Teacher Lu Xia asked me to visualize the different countries that I wanted to expand and go into for my work. Basically, I visualized all the Southeast Asian nations. And the very interesting thing happened the next day after the ritual. So at that point in time, the way that I generated leads and got my potential customers was a very standard method. I used it for like many months, which is that I go to a certain platform, I have a certain advertising script that I use, and then all this while, most of the leads that came to me were prospective customers in the Singapore market. After I did the ritual, I think 1 or 2 days later when I went back to work, same thing, ran the same advertising, used the same advertising script, and this time, the first 3 leads from the advertising campaign that came to me, it was amazing. First, there was a lead who did business in many of the different countries that I visualized during the ritual. And for the second lead, he was someone that had a mixed blood family line. Like his wife was a Thai and his grandparents were like mixed from different countries, and his family line was like very mixed of different nationalities. So he had connections in these different areas that he could potentially introduce to me. And the third lead was a Vietnamese. And this was the first Vietnamese person I ever know in my life. And of course, thereafter, I went to travel again. So Taiwan and Malaysia, I went there before I did this ritual. So, I felt the lethargy before that, right? But this time around, when I went back to Taiwan and Malaysia, I no longer felt that lethargy. I felt the same as I am in Singapore, very energetic,